Hello everyone, I'm going to go over my level 97 Witch Occultist that has, I believe, zombies, raging summoning spirits, and skeletons. I'm going to break it all down for you in the path of building. The path of building will be in the description below, and I have a stream video where I die a lot so you can watch that too. Alright, I'm going to just break this down and tell you guys what's going on in the build and how I would level the build. My first step would be Lord of the Dead, and then I would get Death Attunement. Lord of the Dead and Death Attunement is going to give you more minions, which in turn gives you more survivability and more DPS. Then I would go and I'd get Enduring Bond. And what Enduring Bond does is it increases the amount of damage your minions do, but it only works when you actually summon a minion. So you're going to have to use Summoning Skeletons or Raging Summoning Spirits for Enduring Bond to actually go off. Then I'd get Sacrifice, which is going to regenerate your minions' life a lot and give them life and give you a little bit of regeneration as well. After that, I'd swing all the way down and I'd pick up Grave Pact. Grave Pact is just purely DPS for your minions. After that, I would pick up Redemption. After Redemption, I'd pick up Sovereignty. My first order I would get, if I was leveling, would be Purity of Elements. Purity of Elements gives you increased elemental resists, and it also gives you immunity to elemental ailments, which is really good. So after that, I would get the health or life nodes on the tree. You could definitely pick them up any order you want, and there are three major ones on the tree that you could pick up. There is Purity of Flesh, Heart and Soul, and Combat Stamina. And I am using the Mastery that gives you 20% chance to defend with 200% of armor with the Combat Stamina. And you could definitely pick whichever Life Mastery you want, or you don't even need it if you don't want it. After that, I would definitely pick up the blocking nodes. And this is the order that I would pick them up, but you really don't have to follow that. You could definitely pick the way you want to do it yourself, but I'm going to let you know which way I would do it. My first step would be Whirling Barrier, and I'd pick up the Staff Mastery, 30% increased defenses while wielding a staff. Both of them are really good. Then I would go all the way up, and I'd pick Enigmatic Defense. The reason why I would take Whirling Barrier in this one first is because you're getting the spell block and block chance when you get these nodes. And getting both of them while getting a node is really important. It's going to increase your survivability a great deal. Then I would go down and I'd get Steel Ward Stance. And then I would get the Staff Mastery, recover 2% energy shield and 2% life when you block with the staff in your hand. And after that, the last stop is going to be Mystic Bulwark. And that's going to increase your spell block chance. After that, you are going to get Influence, and this is going to increase the effect of non-curse auras from your skills. And the Reservation Mastery is going to be auras from your skills have 10% increased effect on you. It's definitely a really nice survivability boost for your character. And you will also get a Reservation Efficiency node that increases the mana reservation efficiency of your skills, which is really cool. Then, on this build, I am using Mind Over Matter and Eldritch Battery. Mind Over Matter does 40% of damage taken from mana before life. So when you actually use this in combination with Eldritch Battery covers your mana or protects your mana and becomes mana. So Mind Over Matter becomes even more powerful and increases your survivability a great deal. The Eldritch Battery also allows you to summon skeletons and Raging Summoning Spirits a lot because it's part of your mana now. and you're going to have a lot more of it. And you regenerate your energy shield faster than you would mana. This is going to allow you to free up a lot of nodes on your tree and give you more life, mana, or whatever you want. So after that, you're going to work on your cluster jewels. In your cluster jewels, what you're looking to get is the passive skill really doesn't matter. You could get any passive skill you want. But small passives that you're looking for are 35% increased effect, and then you're going to be looking for minions that have 3% increased attack and cast speed. The other two small passive skills also grant are definitely up to you. I have a 12 passive skill one and 11 passive skill one. You definitely want to try to get a big one so you don't have to get a bunch of small ones and like be scattered all out on your tree. And these gems cost me about 3 to 5 divines for both clusters. Both clusters are practically the same. And the passive skill does not matter. Now I'm going to go over the, I have the immutable force, which is, what this does is it increases stun and block recovery. This is pretty much going to make you hard to be, like if you get stunned, it's going to go away really, really fast. So it's practically being immune to stun. You want it, the higher the better percentage. The implicit on it doesn't really matter. I have you cannot be hindered, so that doesn't really matter. I guess it helps a little bit. If you want to follow it, you can. It's up to you. Then I have the Quickening Covenant. And this is just like a gem that increases minions' attack speed and cast speed and gives your minions a chance to suppress spell damage. And it works very good when you actually put it into a cluster jewel socket, because if you use it in a normal tree, it has like a large radius on it. And when you actually do hit like a major node on a tree, it'll reduce your minions' movement speed by 25%. So you want to make sure that you use it in a cluster jewel socket. Alright, let me look for the other stuff that I want to talk about. I'm going to go over the Ghastly Eye Jewels really quick. The two stat lines that you're primarily looking for are going to be Minions deal 20% increased damage if you use a Minion skill recently. And the other stat line you're going to be looking for is Minions have a chance to poison enemies on hit. If you want more damage on the Ghastly Eye Jewels that you wear, you are going to want to use, or you're going to want to get Minions deal Chaos or Minions deal Physical. Both of those can be added onto the Ghastly Eye Jewels. It's going to be very expensive to get all those stats. So you could definitely remove the Minions deal Chaos and the Minions deal Physical damage for anything that you like. So it's definitely up to you, but I'm just letting you know what does more damage for you. And then I'm going to go over the Watcher's Eye. And Watcher's Eye, I believe, is perfect, but you could definitely get another stat line to it, and it'll cost a lot more currency to actually get. So what I'm using right now on my Watcher's Eye is cast resistance while affected by Purity of Elements. So you're getting more cast resist when you use Purity of Elements. And then the huge one I think is really, really good is phasing while affected by haste. This allows you to run through everything in the game, except for solid walls on the map. But it's definitely really cool, and it helps a lot. I also have the gaze somewhere. I'm going to look for it really quick. It might actually be on my belt. Yes, it's on my belt. What the gaze does, it's also a Ghastly Eye Jewel. To make this Ghastly Eye Jewel gaze unique, fully effective, is to use 4 other Ghastly Eye Jewels with this Ghastly Eye Jewel gaze. And what it does is it increases your overtime multiplier by 30%. Every Ghastly Eye Jewel that you're using increases it by 6%. So if you have 5 of them, that's 30%. This is a very expensive item. When I got it, it was 11 Divine Orbs. So it could be anywhere from probably like 11 to like 18 divine, unfortunately. But you could probably get away with not using it and just use another Gas of the Eye Jewel. More Gas of the Eye Jewels on your tree is definitely not going to hurt you, and you could definitely use more, even if you do have the max for the Gas of the Eye Jewel effects. I'm also using Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh, and I'm using Unnatural Strength, and I will go over that in a minute. Alright, I'm going to jump into the Occultist Ascendancy tree and how I would actually level this Ascendancy tree if I were leveling through the axe. My first step would be Profane Bloom to increase my killing speed, my survivability, and generally just make my life a lot easier. Next, I would get Void Beacon, which is a huge DPS increase. It's going to make you more survivable and do a lot of damage for you. Then I'd get Withering Presence to increase my cast resist and allow me to do Withering on nearby enemies. And my last stop would be Unholy Authority to get another curse and allow my hexes to affect unhexable enemies. Excuse me. Then, as I said, I would go over it before. The Unnatural Strength is coming from the Forbidden Flesh and the Forbidden Flame, and it's a huge DPS increase. I am not entirely sure about the price of this right now. I should have looked it up before the video, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty expensive. It's a huge DPS increase at the end game when you have all your gear going and everything. It should be a pretty good DPS increase without having all the end game gear. I also have Corruption on my anointment on my neck, and that increases the effect of Withered by 35%, and this is a huge DPS increase as well. I'll definitely go over this more in the items section. So that goes over the tree, I believe. Just let me take a really close look at the tree to see if I missed anything. I don't believe I did. Alright, I'm going to jump into the skills really quick. I'm going to hop into the Zombie 6 link. The Raised Zombie gem, I'm using Phantasmal gem level 21. But you could definitely use Raised Zombie default gem level 21, and it's definitely not going to hurt your DPS that much. So don't worry about the Raised Zombie variant at all. You could definitely get away with using default or Phantasmal. Phantasmal is probably going to be really expensive and hard to get. So it's more of like a luxury item. Then you have Multi-Strike with a different variant. You could definitely get away with using default. You're not going to be hurt by your build if you use default. This is about a divine or less. The Awaken Unbound Ailments is about a divine or less. And you can use any default of the gem that's in this 6 link, and you're still probably going to be doing about 55 to 60 million damage, full damage on Pinnacle and Guardian bosses. So I'm just going to let you know that now so I don't have to keep saying it. And then I have Empowered 4, which is giving you another Raised Zombie. This is pretty expensive. When I got it, it was 8 divine, so I'm not entirely sure how much it is now. But you could definitely get away with using an Empowered level 3, which is probably going to be much cheaper. And it's not going to affect your DPS and damage greatly. So don't feel bad if you have to get a 3. Then you have Awakened Minion damage, which is a divine or less, or you could actually use the default and not use any awakened. You do not need an Awakened Void Manipulation, but if you want to get it, it's a divine or less. And at the end game, you should have 10 Raised Zombies at the end game. That's going to be included in your full DPS. Alright, I'm going to jump into the Summoning Raging Spirits and the Veil Summoning Skeletons. The Raging Summoning Spirits level 21 gem default is perfectly fine. I am not sure about the cost of it. I'm going to assume that's like 3 or 5 to find. You definitely get away with a level 20 level 20 gem of this. And there's also a different variant that gives you 2 more Raging Spirits that you could summon, but it's not necessary. You really don't need it. So like a summon Raging Spirits level 20 gem is going to be very inexpensive. You should be able to get it very easy. At the end game, you're going to be having 20 Raging Summoning Spirits that you could summon at once, and that will be included in your full DPS. Now you have Veil Summoning Skeletons. I have the level 21 gem of this, and it cost me 9 divine. It's going to be very expensive. So what you want to do is get Veil Summoning Skeletons level 20. It should be much cheaper, I'm hoping. So it might be expensive, but it's going to be much cheaper than a level 21 gem variant. So I'm hoping it's not too expensive. At the end game, you're going to have 10 summoning skeletons, and they're all going to be warriors. Now you're going to have awakened minion damage, which is a divine or less. Normal minion damage is normal default minion damage will work fine. You have awakened unleash, which cost me 8 divine, so I'm not sure about the price now, but you could definitely get away with just using unleash default, which is going to be very inexpensive. Then I have awakened unbound ailments, a divine or less, and you could use the unbound ailments normal variant or default, and it won't be very expensive. Then you have multi-strike, different variant, and the quality is where the damage is coming from. You could definitely use this or the default, and it's not going to hurt you very much. I'm going to lower the level of the gem. It really doesn't matter. Alright. I'm going to jump into the gloves. I'm using a Summon Cascalm for more survivability on my build. And I have Despair. And you're going to be hard casting Despair. I also have Temporal Chains on a different item. I really like to keep Despair and Temporal Chains on the same item so people don't get mixed up when they try my builds or use my builds. I apologize, they're on 2 separate items. So I'm letting you know that Despair and Temporal Chains will both be hard cast. You'll have to cast them. I only use them on bosses. So that takes care of the curses. So if you see me go past Temporal Chains, don't get mad at me. And then I have Purity of Helmets, your most important Orin that you're going to be using. I went over that before. And then you have Calling Strike. And what Calling Strike does, it kills enemies that have 10% life or lower when hit by support skills. So whenever your Summoning Cascalm hits something that has lower than 10% life, it dies instantly. And it's a huge full DPS bump. Alright, now I'm going to jump into the boots. You have the Raised Spectres. And they're from Act 2, the old fields, I believe. And you're going to be using Carnage Chieftains, and you have 3 of them. These are included in your full DPS, as well as the Summon Cascalm is going to be in your full DPS. I totally forgot to say. There's the Temporal Chains that you're going to be hard casting. Then you have Withering Touch, which is going to increase the amount of Withering stacks that you do on a mob. And your Raised Spectres will be doing that constantly, every second. All 3 of them are going to be constantly doing Withering Touch, which is going to increase the Withering stacks on mobs. And then you have Defeating Frenzy, which is going to increase attack speed and damage of your minions. And the Raised Spectres are going to be procting that when they hit creatures, bosses, or whatever they hit. Alright, I'm going to go over the helmet. And the helmet has Determination, an aura. This is probably going to be the second buff that you use if you want, for more survivability. And that's about it. I'm using Molten Shell for more protection, survivability as well. Then I have Veil Haste. You don't need Veil Haste, you could just use a normal haste. But a Veil Haste is going to give you more burst, and it's probably going to be more expensive. But a normal variant haste will definitely work. And then you have Withering Step. What Withering Step does is it gives you Elusive, which increases your survivability and gives creatures withering touch. Not withering touch, I mean withering stacks. So whenever you touch a creature with withering step going, it immediately attaches a bunch of withering stacks on a creature, boss, or mob. And right now, this withering step is a different variant. And when this touches a creature, monster, or whatever, it does 9 withering stacks at once. And then you have the withering touch from the Spectres constantly going. So you should always have 15 stacks of withering stacks going on a creature at once if you're using withering step. You typically want to use withering step at the start of a boss fight and make sure that you're getting all 15 withering stacks, so you're doing max DPS at all times. Then I have Envy, and this is attached to my necklace, and I will go over that in the items. The commandment of reflection does not matter, it's just attached to my gloves, and it's just whatever. I'll just turn it off. Alright, I'm going to go over the items really quick. The cane is the best item in the game for minions, in my opinion, for every type of minion. And if you want to afford this item, or if you can't find the actual item, I would remove the level of socketed support gems and the quality of socketed support gems, and just get the increased maximum life, increased damage, increased attack speed, and increased cast speed for minions. And that should be much, much cheaper. If you can't actually get the other 2 stats, just make sure you actually get this stat, because it's really important to do a lot of damage and keep your minions alive. Then you have the helmet, which is perfectly optimized for my build. You do not need 13% chance to suppress spell damage, and the increased mana reservation efficiency of skills is really important. And the bench craft that you want to get is +1 to zombies and +1 maximum number of skeletons. The implicits are excellent on the helmet right now. You definitely follow them. The Covenant is a unique, and it increases the damage of your raging summoning spirits and summoning skeletons vastly. You want to definitely get it. This one with all white sockets cost me 3 divine to like 4 divine. Not expensive at all. You should be able to get it, I hope. And then you have the Triad Grip, which has all 4 white sockets. And what this does is it makes all your minions do chaos damage. And what's supposed to happen is that when your minions attack something with an energy shield, it's supposed to bypass that energy shield and go straight to health. At the moment, it's not working properly. I do not understand why. I'm guessing that maybe poison is not considered chaos, but I'm not entirely sure. The boots, just get the stats that you need to get to like supplement your build. I'm always looking to use my belt to like fix my build and resists and max life or dexterity. And I'm always looking for increased movement speed for my boots. The necklace cost me 28 divine today. It's really expensive. And what you're looking for is Envy has no reservation. It's pretty rare. And the cool thing is when you do get this necklace, it gives you a 15 level Envy skill that you could use. So it's pretty expensive. I apologize. I try not to put expensive items in builds. And then the anointment on it is corruption, and that increases the percentage of the withering stack effect and increases your damage. I'm gonna guess that's gonna cost you about 80 to 100 cast orbs to get corruption on there. The bone rings are both really good optimized, and you could definitely follow the stats on both of them. But you could definitely get bone rings really, really good for really cheap. There's tons of them. Then I have Darkness Enthroned, and this increases the effect of socketed biz jewels. I'm putting my gaze in there. I am not entirely sure if the gaze actually effects, if the Darkness of Throne affects the gaze, but it says that it affects Abyss Jewels, so I'm not entirely sure, because, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And then I went over the Ghastly Eye Jewel. I'm using the blood, and the reason I'm using the blood is because it recovers a lot of life, and after 2.7 seconds, it covers full life at the end of the effect. And this is really important and very useful on maps where you cannot regenerate health very fast. Getting that full life at the end of the effect is significant. It helps a lot. Then you got the Pro. When hit during the effect, 25% of life loss from damage taken occurs over 4 seconds instead. The enchant on it I use is used when charges reach full. This is a very expensive item. You do not need to get this item. You could use a granite flask with armor, and then you'd want the stat line to be more armor and something else of your liking. And you'd want to make the enchant used when charges reach full. Then you have the flash that increases your block chance for spell and attack. And I use this enchant with use when charges reach full. Then I have a Quicksilver flash which increases your movement speed. And then I have Bottled Faith. You do not need Bottled Faith, but what Bottled Faith does is it increases your health regeneration and increases damage done to creatures and bosses because it gives you Consecrated Ground. So it's a DPS increase and it's a small DPS increase and a slight survivable increase. I went over all the gems on the build. I'm going to jump into the configuration. The gods are going to be up to you. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. I'm using the Carnage Chieftains, and they give you frenzy charges. They are from Act 2, the Old Fields, I believe it's called. You have Elusive. You're getting that from Withering Step, and it's increasing your survivability. You have Flash active, yes. Are you on Consecrated Ground? Yes. The Bottle of Faith is giving it to you. Have you been hit recently? Probably. Have you blocked recently? Probably. If you use a minion skill recently? Yes. We are using Summoning Raging Spirits and Summoning Skeletons a lot. Is Feeding Frenzy active? Yes. The Spectres has a Feeding Frenzy gem linked to it, so we should be getting that. Withering Stacks is 15. We have Withering Step, and we have Withering Touch attached to the Raised Zombies on the 4 link. Is that on Consecrated Ground? Yes, it is. We have the Bottle of Faith going. The PoB is set to Guardian Pinnacle at the moment, and the full DPS is 72 million damage. You definitely look at this. You definitely look at all the phases of the enemy as a boss on your own leisure, but this build is high damage, very high damage. Alright, I'm going to jump into the game and show you some gameplay of the build. Alright, here we go. I'm going to do a couple of maps, and I really don't have very much in the way of actual bosses, unfortunately. I could do the Elder. I'll probably do the Elder really fast. So, a couple of maps, and I'll just do the Elder, and I'm going to call it. Alright, here we go. Let's do this one really quick. A very simple build. All you're going to be doing is summon your skeletons and Raging Summoning Spirits. I rarely ever use Raging Summoning Spirits unless I'm doing a boss. Or like a map boss or something like that. You don't need to use your curses or anything on map monsters. And like when you do actually get to the map boss, you're probably not even going to have to use the curses still. The curses are usually used for guardians and pinnacle bosses or uber bosses. You're just going to be crushing stuff with this build. if you don't want to die with this build, you're not going to. If you play really safe and careful, you could definitely survive and level very easily with this build. But I'm definitely a kamikaze player. I like to get in there and mix it up with the creatures. Void Beacon on the Ascendancy tree for the Occultist is only good when you're nearby creatures or enemies or bosses too. So, and plus you have Withering Step. I never use Withering Step unless I get lost or if I don't know where I'm going or if I can't find like the right way to go. I'll always use Withering Step to increase my speed to get back on track. This map is very linear. It's a big old square with cul-de-sacs sticking out on the sides of the square. So you're not going to have much movement. And that's where phasing helps. When you get to a boss, you could definitely summon all your Raging Summoning Spirits and your Skeletons. And then you have Skeletons, you pop that, and you should be dead in a second. Oh, it's pretty tough. Alright. I'll do this next map really quick. I'll show you guys another map, and it's excellent. It's already rare for me. I'll do the map fully. You could definitely just run to the boss on this map and crush them if you wanted to, because you just go straight up the middle. This map is two donuts, an outer and an inner, and the boss is sitting in the middle of it. So if you wanted to do the boss, you could definitely run through the middle. And there's openings on, I think, maybe 2 or 3 sides of the donuts to actually go into the inner donut. And very simple map. The boss is really easy. He just jumps around all over the place, but he won't jump very much with this build on him. Just summoning your Skeletons and Raging Summoning Spirits. Oh, flying meteorites. Ah. Oh man, I hate that stuff. Sometimes if you stop when those things are chasing you, they just like land on you and crush your dome. You could, I'm not using my Veil Summoning Skeletons very much. You could definitely use them a lot while you're doing maps and have them up for the boss. It really doesn't matter if you use them during trash mobs on the map or the boss, because you're going to be killing stuff so fast it really doesn't matter. There's the boss room. I'm in the inner circle now, or the inner donut of the build. Just wrap around and clear everything out. You know, I might have some Delirium orbs and maybe do some like a 60 or 80% Delirium map. Show you guys how that goes. See if I can get myself killed for you. Alright, everything seems to be cleared out. Also, this guy's gonna drop in a second. Alright. I'm gonna see if I could do a Delirium map. I'm gonna probably do a 60% Delirium map. What map do I really want to do? I'll just do the Defiled Cathedral map. It's pretty narrow and claustrophobic map, so it shouldn't really be easy for me to clear it out. I'm thinking of like trying to make it hard on myself so you guys can really see what's going on. Alright, there we go. Actually, I'll just make it 80, just for good measure. Alright, there we go. 80% Delirium. So, I'm really trying to die right now, so if I don't die, I'm going to be disappointed and everything else. just summoning. I prefer the summon skeletons first before raising summoning spirits, because you could summon more raising summoning spirits for. You could summon more skeletons at once than you can raising summoning spirits. I guess it depends on if Unleash is actually fully loaded, but I typically only use summoning skeletons mostly. Oh, I got a Delirium map. Alright, cool. I just popped Veil Summoning Skeletons. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Oh, there's a boss. He might kill me if I'm not careful. I can't even see him with all this crap. Alright, cursed him. And he gone. He is definitely gone. Alright. Rocking and rolling. As always, you could always use Withering Step for an increased movement speed, more damage, and more survivability. So it's definitely up to you when you use it. I typically use it on bosses most only, but if you feel uncomfortable and you want to like get out of dodge, or there's a mana sucker over there. I don't even want to go by him. Alright, he's dead now. Pop some Veil Summoning Skeletons on him. I believe I have Veil Haste, and I'm not even using it. Do I have Veil Haste? No, I don't. Oops, I'm gonna be killed looking at my skills on my action bar. As you can notice, I'm using Molten Shell on my movement key, so I don't have to worry about it, and it's always going off. I know that's definitely not the most ideal way to use Molten Shell, but I'm being lazy and I really don't want to pay attention on using it. Okay, here comes the boss. Summoning Raging Spirits, Skeletons, Flasks, Withering Step, Curse, and he gone. I'm gonna clear the rest of the map. I still might die because an 80% Delirium map is definitely not easy to do. Wow, that guy was tough. I just want to let you guys see what's going on with the build. Remember, this is definitely not an easy map to do with Delirium. It's a very tight linear square with cul-de-sacs. So like this build would excel much better. Oh, another boss. Oh, he almost one-shotted me. Oh my god. Uh-oh. I'm scared. I'm running. Intense. Come on, die already. Be gone. Whew. Sweating a little bit. He's definitely much tougher than the Fat Boy with the axe. Fat Boy with the axe is definitely a lot easier. He doesn't really do anything except for die really fast. The other one does like void zones that like kill you in a second. Alrighty. I love saying alright when I do videos. It makes everything seem much easier and better for me. That's a lot of mess right there. I'm just gonna pop my Summoning Veil Skeletons to clear that mess up. And, oh yeah, tons of damage going out. I might do another Delirium map really fast. You know, because a lot of people like to think that my builds are squishy or glass cannons. You know, maybe if they watch my video, they'll realize that my builds are not glass cannons and they can do everything in the game. This map is almost over. I will definitely pick a different map for the next map run. I just want to pick a harder map to actually do, so you guys can see how well the build works. Alright, that's it. I didn't kill all the monsters, but on a Delirium map, it's really hard to kill all the monsters. Let's see, which one should I do? I guess, ooh, Carcass would be hard. Oh my god, look at that mess. Alright, I don't have much anymore, so it's only gonna be 40. But look at all those stat lines and mods on there. Jeez. If I don't die here, man, there's something wrong. Path of Exile or GGG is looking out for my well-being in the game. Look at that mess. I'm gonna be disappointed if I don't die here. You know, with this build, you're killing so fast that, and you move so quick that your flash should have like an uptime of 100%, which is really cool. Dropped. Oh, I don't care about that. Oh, there's a boss room already. That was fast. There's 2 of them too. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. I have the Maven as my this is getting witnessed by the Maven, so I can't really see if those like little balls are like chasing me, so I gotta constantly move. There's one right there. Are both of them dead? Yeah, they're both dead. Okay. Alright, one more map. I haven't ran out of Delirium map orbs to use, so I'll just do the Plaza map, and I'll do the Elder. This boss right here is definitely very, very hard. She has a poison attack that could like siphon all your life in seconds. And it's really a DPS check for builds to kill her, because if you can't kill her fast enough, she's just gonna kill you. This map is like a maze. It's a bunch of like, right now it's horizontal, or you could say it's horizontal or vertical lines, and they're very narrow. There's not really much openings in this map. It's very congested with creatures. It's a difficult map. I'm gonna say this is one of the harder maps in the game. It's like a maze type. It's difficult to find your way around. A lot of like little openings and a lot of straight paths and vertical and horizontal lines. Alright, this boss scares me a lot. So I'm gonna be very, very cautious. I'm gonna summon everything because she could just own you in seconds. she died quick. Alright, let's do the Elder really quick. If I die in the Elder, it's going to be at the start of the fight. It's going to be from Ice Spear. If she doesn't hit me with Ice Spear, this fight is going to be extremely easy for this build. You should be able to burn her before she does anything. Summon your Raging Summoning Spirits. Get your skeletons out. Withering Step. Curse, Curse. And cheat. I just got a message on Discord. I'll have to check that out in a second. This video is almost over. I'm so sorry, Spicy Mom. Oh my god. I'm almost done. There's a lot of trash in this one. Pop Veil Summoning Skeletons. This fight is very easy for minion builds. That's the Elder. Pretty easy. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching. Please be safe and careful, because you never know when something bad or anything is going to happen, so please be careful and safe. Until next time, have a nice day. Please show some love and sub. Thank you again for watching. Thank you.